Oh, here we go. Right. I have just been in and hit the go button, and there's always a bit of a lag as we go through. So, howdy. I'm Matt, and welcome to this, well, another live chat, in short. And in tonight's live session, we have got 4 obscure models for us to take a look at. So that's what we're going to be looking at in just a few moments' time. I do have a little bit of housekeeping for us to go through first. Obviously, you can see on your screen that there is a live chat going on here at the moment. If you have any questions or comments about any of the models which we see in front of us, please just ask as we go through. Do keep in the back of your mind that these models were bought out of my own money for my own abuses. I'll give you a quick rundown that they're all cheapos. And by the way, we've got 2 camera views. There's the big one in front of us and there's one above our heads. So yeah, 15 quid, 15 quid, 19 quid and £20.95. So all really quite inexpensive ones. And actually, ironically, if I'm honest with you, it's the smallest one which has got my attention. I'm really looking forward to sharing that one with you, and we'll do that one last. So with that said, those of you which have been joining live, you can see the live chat going on here down the right hand side of your screen. I can see that on the laptop over there, but just be aware, if you do have a question and I miss it, don't panic. I'm not doing it on purpose. I just haven't seen your chat because you can see it and I can't just yet. Right, yeah, on with that. Now, Julian, thank you. And what do I mean by that? I mean by that, Julian posted a link to a model in the Facebook group a couple of days ago. I went on to the site, which is Robot Birds, and noticed a couple of other little cheapo models, and 70, 80 quid down a little bit later, and 2 days later, 4 models have been turned up this afternoon. So thanks, Julian, for that one. I think the same thing happened to Martin as well. We've been discussing what happens to our will when it comes to EPP foam. And I freely admit, I put my hand up, I have issues. Some people are into motorbikes. Some people are into... let's not go to that one. And some people are into RC model planes, and I'm firmly in that camp. Now, also to give you a shameless plug, the RC Coffee Chat is also going to be live tomorrow morning at 6 AM. So look out for that live RC Coffee Chat. To give you a heads up now, if you've missed it in the Facebook group, that one will be live tomorrow. Happy to... Yeah, thank you, Julian. You can see him in the chat going on there at the moment. Right. Oh, quick note. Not affiliated with Robot Birds. Don't have a clue who they are. I bought the thingy one over there. I'll remember its name in a minute. I bought another model from them before. They're a UK-based company. Just be aware they may have already been sold out of these models. I suspect they're end-of-line models as well. And if you're not in the United Kingdom, it's probably expensive shipping. Okay. I've bought them. I looked at them. They're unique. They're not like the normal kind of models which you see here. And actually, ironically, it's the smallest one, which has been and got my attention. Okay. So we got 3 wings and an oddity. Okay. So howdy, who is ever to everybody who's on the live chat. I will, of course, be here forever saying howdy to everybody if I call everybody out by name. So anyway, let's get on. I tell you what, let's start with the first one. So you'll be able to see this in the camera above me. So I want to make sure, I'm just looking over there so you can see what I'm seeing. So this is the Swift Mini. Now, what do I know about the Swift Mini? It's a 21-inch or 54 centimetre wing. So it's only a diddly one. All of these are smaller models. Now, you may be thinking, Matt, why are you interested in smaller models? Like, literally, was it not only yesterday you posted a video of you smashing the Harrier around the sky and having a minor head-on collision in Balls Deep? And the answer is yes. And was it only a couple of days before that and we had the mini drat going out and it was caning around it a ton? And the answer to that is also yes. I admit to I like speed. But on the other side, I am always, and I genuinely mean this, always on the lookout for smaller models which I can fly at home or within a very compact space. So imagine if you, those of you which go to a flying club or have a flying field, is that you normally got quite a big stretch of in front of you, which you can zoom in and out and things like that. Well, here at home, I've got a very compressed area, maybe 40 meters, something like that. So obviously you've got unlimited height, but there's blocks on either end, so I have to be very careful. I need something which is small, nimble, and also light as well. So that's maybe why I like the S-Back, for example. I'm sure many of you have seen me talk about that one before. But on a serious point, small, nimble models definitely always get my attention, because if I can fly at home, that's happy days. If we can take it to the fly site and have some laughs with it, well, happy days. So a smaller wing, this one, is quite swept back. I'm sure you can see it in the camera up above me. Unlike a bonsai, which, well, actually, I'm here looking at a bonsai. So it's smaller than a bonsai, and it's definitely more swept back. This one will be set up for 2S. So we're not talking big batteries. We're not talking about crazy motors. We're talking about something which can have some fun. Kicking around out the front of the house, you know, or in a very compact space. So those of you which have got a decent sized garden, that's basically what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to, that's what I'm always keeping an eye out for. There was one bit of other foam in it. Obviously we get 2 wing tips as well. There are some instructions, but after that, that's about it. We've really just been bought a wing cord which has been cut out and a motor mount to go on the back. So that's what it's going to kind of look like once she's ready. I'll put on the camera. It's not very big, smaller than a bonsai, that's for sure. And yeah, more sweep in the wing compared to a bonsai. Now, this one will be set up with 2S. If we look on the bottom, they have been and put 2 holes on the bottom of the wing for the servos. But to be honest, I'm not going to put the servos on the bottom. The reason being they'll scuff the ground when I land. So what I'll end up doing is cutting out the servo, cutting out the foam which is on the top of the wing, putting mounting servos in, and then putting that piece of foam here on the bottom, so that we've then got a flat bottom, and then I'll try and mount as much as I can, well, I'll mount the rest of it up here on the top of the model itself. Again, it will be a super light build. Now, I'm not entirely sure whether I'm going to be using, and it's probably, well, I can tell you right now, it's overkill, but I am going to have a great big shortage of servos very, very quickly. So those are the Tower Pro MG90S. Now, I bought these off Banggood. I buy them in packs of 6. I'm pretty sure they're fakes. And out of literally now over 130, maybe 140 of these servos, I've only had 2 which have been like duffers. Well, one of them was a bit rough when I first had it, and the other one just didn't work. So I think that's a good percentage. So I may be using those which are a little bit big, but like I said, I am going to be on a bit of a shortage of servos very quickly, because my other servo of choice would be, I'll put that up on the camera, is Turnigy 1440A servos, which are little diddy ones, and they're really good. They would be fine in a model like this because it's not going to be going mental fast. They'll cope with the odd knock. But like I said, I'm going to have a bit of a shortage on servos very, very quickly because, well, there's 4 new models here. So I'm definitely going to need to go and buy some more. So if I've got loads of those Tower Pro ones in the servo box. So if I can use those, I will do. And again, if I can get that with the weight in front of the CG, the centre of gravity line, that's happy days. Now, they did include the CG in there. It's probably about here on the wing. As far as putting this wing together, bit of glue in the middle. Get the components set out and laid out where I want them. And again, once the wing's glued together, I can then place components around and then make sure I'm going to hit CG. I won't have a big motor on the back. Worst case, I'll have an 1806 motor, probably smaller, if I'm brutally honest. It will only be a 2S setup as well. And that's it. And then maybe some form of snazzy design on top. I've got a couple of cans of spray paint. And then we'll make a little design up and get it sprayed up. And I won't laminate it because I don't want to put extra weight on there. Saying that, I'll make a decision closer to the time, but I may just put a thin strip of laminate along the leading edge of each of the wings, and that will probably just do it. So that one was the Mini Swift White Wing, which was I'm just going to say they're all 15 quid because I can't remember which ones were which. So, yeah, looking forward to that one. Really straightforward build. I know basically all you've been and bought is a pair of phone cords, but for 20 quid or less, could be a lot of fun. We'll find out how that one is in the very near future. Let's have a quick look at your chat in a moment. Chris says, MG90 always work, but resolution is terrible. I don't know. That Harrier, which I was smashing around on the weekend, that's got those MG90S servos in it. Works fine for me, even at those speeds. Let's have a look. Oh, Joe's been put a note now. Wings only use two servos most of the time. Most of mine have 4 or more. Absolutely. Let's have a quick look. Oh, I can't pronounce your name, so I'm just going to call you OY because the Y is upside down. Apologies, fella. I've actually been in reply to your comment, which you left on the on the YouTube channel. Sonic Model F1 was my suggestion. Go and have a look at that one, but also go and check the reply on the channel because there's some extra chat in there with you. A longer reply for you as well. Brilliant. Howdy Dav as well. Right, moving on quickly. The next one is the Comet. Now, the reason why this one got my attention is because the motor's on the front. Can you see up there? Look at that. That's a bit weird, isn't it? Got my attention, a bit of an oddity. So it's a Comet after the German whatever, or Comet plane. This one's 420 millimeters. So I need to put this on here. No, 920, which is not what I got written down here. I've got this down as being a 23-inch model. So something's different in here. So anyway, let's go and get her open. A little bit more of a complete kit compared to the other one. Also, just remember, I got the pricing down here as well. The Comet was £19. 19 quid. What we say, $30? Something like that. We get some bits and bobs. Probably won't use most of that if I'm honest. We get some instructions, which I actually thought the instructions were quite good. I have been in all of these and had a nose. That's why I really kind of like the one at the front. So, pretty straightforward instructions, to say the least. They're suggesting using the hot glue. Whether I use hot glue or not is a whole different ballpark. So, I'll tell you what, let's go and get... Yeah, this is not a 23-inch wing, is it? This is definitely going to be bigger. So, let me go and move this out, and I'll use the other box to lay it down. I'll put the wings around the right way. It's been painted. It looks like a poster paint that's been used. I can also see on here, let me move that round like that, and I'll just stick the lid on it. It comes with a blue lid, and I'll grab the tail fin as well. There's some other bits which come in the box, but they're not that exciting. So let me just move those out of the way now. Yeah, this one got my attention because it's got a motor on the front for a wing. And one of the downsides to flying wings is that normally, because the motor is behind the wing itself, the motor is always running in disrupted air. So if we use a wing cord here, for example, and we look up at the top camera, is that, there you go. So you imagine the air's coming in, and normally you would have the motor at the back. And the thing is that the air which has gone over the wing is now all disrupted, and it's always noisier. Okay, that's why I was actually quite surprised by the Harrier, which we've just been chatting about, or in the last couple of videos, is because it was actually really quite quiet. And again, lovely noise of the two motors. So a model like this, or a wing like this with the motor on the front, it's then a tractor model, so it's pulling the model forwards so that the motor is always in clean air. So it's always going to be quieter. On the flip side to that, that does always cause you now an issue that you've got the motor on the front, and what's the first thing to touch the ground? Yeah, so that is my concern about this model. That said, it looks pretty cool. There is a little fin which goes on the top, back here somewhere. And that's about as far as I've got. To be honest, what I'll end up doing is just looking at the photograph on the Robot Bird site and then just building it from there. Not a complex build by any stretch of the imagination. The wings themselves, I'll move those bits out of the way, mate, and put them back down there in the box. The wings themselves are, well, that's a bit awkward. We'll go across there, Well, we'll go from there to there. So 12 is 27, 40. Hang on, 27. 2 sevens are 14. 54-inch wing. So yeah, quite a big wing. 54 inches for 19 quid. Bargain. The cord itself does have some reflex. Well, yeah, does have some reflex in there. It's a symmetrical wing as well, symmetrical cord. So you see that it is symmetrical all the way through. That does mean that this model potentially, and I mean potentially, has the, yeah, actually saying that, it's slightly thicker at the bottom. I'm not entirely what kind of cord they've used for that. But by the looks of it, this model is going to fly quite well upside down as well. So an inverted flight is going to be a bit of a goer for this one. Again, I will be keeping this one sensible. So not going too nuts. Last words, I know, famous last words for me. But I don't intend to be going too bonkers with this one. Again, if you've not seen this episode yet, down in the video description, so if you click on show more, there's 5 or 6 episodes or videos which are currently unlisted, and I've not published them just yet. One of them is called Calf Ball, and it's about my motors addiction. And it was me recording it at like 1 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't sleep. And we go through how many motors which I might have here, which is a few. And I'll choose a sensible motor from the motors which I've got here to go on the front. So I'll be looking for a decent amount of speed. I will be looking for 2S to 3S for this one. So it will be, say, a 1300 milliampere battery pack, which I'll be aiming to use. But if I can get away with, say, an 1800 milliampere battery pack, I've got a couple of those. So we might do that. And then saying that, if I can, I've got plenty of little 2S 1000 milliampere packs. We might give that one a punt as well. So yeah, Comet, I kind of like it, and it's a bit of a, like, again, these are a little bit weird models, aren't they? They're not like the kind of norm which we've seen lately, because this one's a tractor motor. The other one was a little diddy wing. Right, 19 quid. I thought that was a bargain. Happy days. So a quick look at the live chat which is going on there as well. Howdy Phil, howdy Jeff as well. 7 Demo 7, not seen you for a while, sir. So have a quick look on there. Julian says, prop saver set up on the Comet. That is not a bad idea, Julian. I'll give you that. I'll give you that one. So a prop saver is one when you've got the elastic band around the propeller, so it could knock out the way. I think you're right. In fact, I think you're so right. I think you've been looking at the pictures, haven't you? Because if you look on that box there, that's exactly what they got on their motor down there. So yeah, we'll do that, I think. Prop saver. And I've actually that makes me think of the perfect motor to go on the front for that. It's one of those Emax motors. Hey ho. So yeah, we'll have a look at that. So yeah, good call on that one, Julian. And again, 50-50 on the motors, which I'll be using probably 2S, maybe 3S. We'll see. If I can fit a bigger battery pack in there, I'll go for that. If I can't, and I'm not going to panic. I know I've got loads of those little 1000 2S battery packs, the little zippy yellow ones. I've got dozens of them. So there's a lot of fun to be had with those battery packs specifically. So yeah, good call on that one. Right, if your video feed has frozen, I've obviously missed a comment in there. Just hit refresh on the page, okay, in short, or just wind back and then it will catch up for you. So anyway, moving on. Model number 3. This one is called, I need to check on it, it was a strange one. It was called an Arrow Eco. Much smaller model again. Look at that! Absolutely diddy. So hopefully the specifications are right on this one. This is a 22-inch or 56cm wing. Absolutely diddy. Comes with just enough instructions to get us going. Well, I'm saying that. Look at that. Not bad instructions at all. Do you see my sense of humour now? There's loads of really good instructions to go with that. And there's multiple pages, all written in English in there. And should be pretty straightforward to get going. Again, I will be keeping this one as a light build. Also, again, just like the previous wing, is that this one is to be set up as a forward-facing motor. So I've got some tiny, I want to say 1404s, very little tiny little motors, which I've been eyeing up, or thinking about sticking on the bottom of this one. So again, I don't know which way around this is supposed to go. Yeah, that's probably supposed to go on the bottom. Yeah, again, just EPP glue, E6000 glue, which is brilliant for EPP. Aiming to keep this super light. Again, I'll be using as many of these as I've got, which is the Turnigy 1440A servos. They're really, really good. Very, very simple build. Tractor motor. They have got, and that is some proper Depron as well. Can you, I'll put that over there a second. Can you hear that? That's Depron. So they've got Depron as the wingtips, which, while sounds like a very good idea, and they are also super light, Depron in its uncoated, painted, covered form is also not the strongest materials ever. So especially for out there on the wingtips. So I'm not entirely sure if I will keep those on the wingtips or what just yet. Again, a super straightforward build. We're not talking anything complex here. The only challenge which we've got with the 3 models which we've been in seen so far is keeping them as light as possible. So I'll be using not the XM. There's another tiny little receiver which has got the PWM outputs on them, and I'll be using that for FR Sky. And I'll be using as small as components which I've got, in short. So yeah. That was the Arrow Eco. Bit of an oddity. Like I said, so far, that's the 3rd really obscure models. Can you see why I picked them up now? You see why they perked my interest? Is because I've not seen anything like that, and I've never had I had a Texumo with 2 motors on the front, didn't I? I did a twin motor Texumo, and that was the first wing which I've had, flying wing, which has had motors on the front, and it was great fun. So I've now got 2 like that. Bit peculiar, we'll give it a punt. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, Howdy Elijah as well. XMR Callum, if that's the tiny little one with the PWM outputs for FR Sky, that's classed as happy days. Now, that seems to have required some extra parts on my desk, so I'm just going to move those out of the way so I don't get mixed up with the other ones. Right, the last model of this live session is an absolute cutie. I've got to put my hand up. I didn't realise it was going to be so small. Honestly, I just had no idea it was going to be so cool. And out of 3 wings and another model, I didn't realise that I'd be going, ooh, look at this one over this one. If that makes any sense at all. As many of you know, that I'm very much a wing person, and I really enjoy a damn good flying wing. But this one got my attention because it's so diddy. So it's a little, it's a Pylon racer called the GBR3. You wait till you see it. It's so little diddy. So again, it comes with great instructions. Not entirely sure if I'll follow them. And here it is. It's tiny. And I mean this is tiny in such a good way. This is going to be great fun. So this is going to be in like a little tiny little 1S or a tiny S2S battery. And it's so small. I'm going to stick that in the tail and we'll quickly knock it up together. I wonder if I've got some pins. Yeah, give me a sec. I'll go and grab a pin or 2. And we'll quickly pin it up so you can see it. It's so diddy, like completely not the norm at all of what I would buy. And I genuinely thought it was going to be bigger. And it's tiny. And it has pleasantly surprised me. So look, you can see on the camera up there above the top view. Look, it's absolutely tiny as my hand. What was the details on this one? Apparently this is only a 20-inch wingspan, which is 51 centimeters. Now it does come with what do you call it, like a circuit board spar. And I am just going to stick some pins in it very quickly just so I can mock this one up. But it does, and it did, just grab my attention just for something so peculiar. What have I done here? Oh, I've put the wrong wing on the wrong side. Oh well. I'm special. Or have I? Hang on, hang on, hang on. This is not me being special. One of these was supposed to... Have I got two? No. One's got an aileron cut out in it. And I've only literally just been and noticed that. And the other one doesn't. So that's why I may go going, what on earth? Because I've only pulled one out and had a quick nose. So let me just stick these pins in there a second. And I'll stick the pins in there as well. And Jeff, I'm with you. That plane looks cool. It really does. Remember I was saying earlier, when we first started, I'm always on the lookout for little models, which I can fly in and around the front. Let me get a better pin than that one. It's covered in glue. Let me stick that in there. There we go. I'll take that one back out. There we go. It's tiny. I had no idea that this one was going to be so small. And just look at the profile on it. You cannot tell me that that is not going to be great fun. Okay. So it's bank and yank. I can point on here and say that some plonker has not been cut out. Oh, hang on. No. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Hands up. Did you see on the front? It says Pylon Racing. Pylon Racers, they only have one aileron because they always bank in the same direction. So there's me saying, oh, where's the other one? Where's the... Because look, because you got one aileron and the other side doesn't have an aileron. I've never had one like this before. This is going to be... curious is the correct word. But look, it's tiny. Again, you can see up here on the top of the camera, you'll see that you've got a hole for some wiring and a receiver. There's a hole there for the battery as well, and whatever else. It's so tiny. It's really diddy. All I can say is that out of the 4 models which turned up here, this one will be the first one to get built. Because it looks like the most fun, if I'm frankly honest. The wings are going to be great. The Comet and the Arrow one definitely have hit the curiosity streak out of them, because front mounted tractor mounted motor wings, yeah, right up there. But this one, look at that. Put it the right way around. There you go. How peculiar. And it weighs absolutely nothing. We are talking only a very few grams on here. And because it's so light, you could... Oh, look, there's a hole all the way down the main of the fuselage. Look at that. There's a hole all the way going through. So they have done some of the boring out work for you as well, which is happy days. So anyway, yeah, getting back to my point, it's peculiar. And you can see that when these arrive, and I was like, oh, I've never seen it like this. So I got into all the boxes and had a bit of a nose. And I ended up going, oh, look at this one. It's well cool. So, yeah, I hope you kind of like it as well. They've written 99 on it, which would be more funny if it was 69, but that's the 12 and 1/4-year-old in me being silly. So, yeah, a little bit of an oddity. Like I said, I had no idea it was going to be this small. I knew the other ones were smaller. I didn't really pay any attention to the wingspan on this one. I just saw a photograph of it and it looked pretty cool. I thought it was going to be like twice the size. And to be honest, it's turned up and it's half as small as what I was expecting. And I'm twice as excited. Work that one out. I've received less and I'm more excited. I have issues. So that kind of goes in with the title of this tonight's live episode. I think we all do have issues from time to time. Anyway, apologies. I've not really kept an eye on your chat. Well, I have kept half an eye on there, an eye on it. But if you have any questions about these models, please ask right now if you're on the live version, and I'll do my best to answer them. And yeah, caught me off guard on that one. I really am looking forward to building it. I need to get on the old Googler and find out what on earth's going on with Pylon Racers. I've obviously seen 1 or 2 videos of them flying around, but I need to be a little bit aware whether I can bank left or right. I would have thought so. I don't fancy the idea of just flying in circles. I would prefer it if I had left and right, and if I could roll and fly it like a normal aeroplane. But I am going to go and do my research on that in a minute to find out what I need to do. But it is a little diddy one. It is going to be a 2S setup. And I really am looking forward to flying it. What can you say? No, it's cute. That's the best way. It's cute. That's the best word for it. So very, very peculiar. Clickety click, Matt. Styrola says, Speed Freaks just turn left. That is very true. That's where I've been and seen Pylon races before. DJ MB says, what is your favourite wing? The S800. I like most wings, to be honest. I've got wings which I fly a lot. The S800, I'll tell you the story on the S800. I was one of the first ones to have an S800, which I bought. And I know for a fact I was the first one to get FPV footage out on the internet for it. And I can also tell you I was the first one to smash one to pieces as well, because we stuck it in a tree at about 100 miles an hour. And with a little bit of hot glue later, we had it up and going again. I actually sold it to Richard, who then went on and seriously abused the S800. And then one came up, they came on the Bangor Deals last year, and I bought myself a V2, which is basically exactly the same as the V1. And I've kept it here. That one is definitely not running 1.3 gig video on it, and that definitely does not mean that you can fly it about an inch off the ground 3 fields away. I really like the S800 for many different reasons. One of them, the key one, is just it's robust. So if you've got an S800, fella, great wing, great wing. You can mention bad points, like it's got waggle, you can't put a big enough battery in there. They didn't include, well, they stopped including the little extension mount on the back. There's a few negatives which you can go, could be better, but you wrap it around a tree, bit of hot glue, nobody will notice. It just flies just as well as it did beforehand. So I have a collection of wings, and again, which is your favourite wing is a bit of a flawed question. We've covered that one once before, because it depends upon the circumstances, it depends upon the flying conditions and what you're trying to do. Because if you're looking for distance, then an FX61 would be a great one, great wing. But if you're looking for a wing to smash in and around trees, the FX61 would be like the worst choice for you to have. So yeah, horses for courses. Let's have a quick look there. Julian says, I think the Comet will be your fave. I am looking forward to the Comet and the Aero one. Remember, they're both very peculiar models because they're both tractors. A little bit different. No, not seen anything like that. So I'm looking forward to flying those as well. They're all unique in their own ways. And even the first one which we saw, and I'm pointing at it over there because I put them over there out of the way, is that it's a small little wing. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a challenge to keep the weight down and keep it nimble enough to make it good fun. And they're not hard builds, any of these. Well, this one's actually going to be a bit of a challenge, because what happens if I do want the other aileron in there? And again, I want to keep it super lightweight, but then I also want the speed to go with it as well. So yeah, good fun. Brilliant. Julian says, shush Matt, I'll end up getting a third S800. I do like them. And again, anybody which turns up and says I've flown quads before, can you suggest a wing? I just say like S800, because they can use all their quad parts straight in there and it will just fly out the box room. And again, I know it, you know it, that when someone lobs it, it's going to end, like, for the first 5 launches, it's going to end up in the ground. And that thing can kind of like take it. So yeah, very, very curious. Let's have a quick look at your chat. Right, on that note, I am going to wrap up. I just want to quickly recap the points which we've been covered. We've got the... Honestly, it's caught me off guard. This is not what I was expecting. I was expecting foam twice the size. It's turned up half the size, and I'm twice as delighted. Work that one out. That's the best summary for the little GB Pylon racer. We had the Aero Arrow, sorry, tractor wing as well. Again, you'll be able to see it above my head. I'll move the cup of coffee out of the way. We had the Comet as well. How peculiar. Again, this one, I thought this one was going to be small and tiny. It's not. What was it, a 54-inch wing? It's going to be massive. I'm looking forward to building that. Again, 2 tractor wings. How peculiar is that? One very small one much bigger wing. That's like the size of a Taxuma almost, isn't it? And then we had the little mini Swift as well. Another little wing for chucking it around. And oh look, they've been and included the little control horns and the little motor mount as well. Very cute and very dainty. So yeah, very odd models. That's why I put the... Well, number one, we all know that I've got issues when it comes to EPP foam and models, full stop. And the other one is just 4 very obscure models. How weird is that? Now, do keep in the back of your mind, bought all these models out of my own money for my own abuses. I will abuse them. You all know that I will abuse them. I have put links to them in the video description. I'm not affiliated with Robot Birds. If you're not in the United Kingdom and any of these are left in stock, they will probably be very expensive for shipping. I think I paid £7.50 for shipping for all of these, which I didn't think was that bad, and it turned up 2 working days later, which was happy days. Yeah, we're on Tuesday today now, aren't we? Yeah, turned up. He must have shipped it. Well, they must have shipped it yesterday. It's been and turned up today, so happy days on that front. Right, and last couple of pieces. Mark, links to them for these are in the video description. You've just been spotted. I've just seen the comment go on there. Right, in other news, the RC Coffee Chat is live tomorrow at 6 AM. I've been and put that on the front of the YouTube channel. If you can't get enough of RC stuff, in the video description, I think there's 4, 5, maybe 6 videos which I have not yet published live on YouTube. One of them's a bit funny, actually. One of them's a bit awkward. Hobby King have just been and done a Hobby King daily, or announcement daily video on the lawn dart, which is the... I'm not saying... It is not the S word. Kinetic. Something kinetic. It's not the S word. And I've got a video for that one. I've also got the first flight out of it as well, because originally the kinetic, not the S kinetic, I had 3 flights with it. The first flight was fantastic, came down absolute peachy, really liked it, and that's the one we got on the film. Second one, I took it up and then I landed it, and it wasn't the best landing at all, but it did come down in one piece, like flat, and it came in straight. And then the third landing is because what I noticed is, but behind the third flight, the tail was wagging around because the fuselage just snapped in half. So I brought it down, it went plop like that, and then the nose fell off and the tail was already broken. So yeah, part 2 is ready, and that's in the video description. And it does fly great, but just watch out because she will tip stall on you, hence why it's been nicknamed the lawn dart. We also mentioned we've got a video on an RC, 2 videos on RC cars. We have, what else we got in there? Motors as well. The calf ball series. Look out for more of the calf ball episodes. I do have quite a few of those coming up in the very near future. Right, on that note, it is... Chris says, can you recommend the Hyperion Rare Bear? Is that the big orange and purple one, Chris? If that is, Chris, ask in the Facebook group, because I actually own one of those and I can see it from here. So it is a bit of a curiosity. So yeah, I don't know if that is the Hyperion one or not. So well, let's carry on that conversation over in the Facebook group. And if you, Chris, if you're not in the Facebook group, there's a link to that in the video description. Right, it is time for me to go. I would like to say a massive thank you to you for taking the time to watch this episode. Do keep in the back of your mind, all these videos are advert free. If you like advert free videos, do me a favour, press the thumbs up. Any questions or comments about anything which you've been in seen here, either ask in the comment section underneath this video, or in the video description there's a link to the Facebook group. And there's literally over 2,500 cool pilots like me and you now in that group as well. So just hit the join button on the right hand side of the screen, and one of us moderators will pick up your request later this evening. So on that note, from myself, Matt, thank you very much for joining me live. Remember, there's an RC coffee chat tomorrow morning. I'll see you bright-eyed and bushy-tailed with a cuppa back then. Cheerios!